What's up guys? Today I'm taking a look at the LDT MP5 Metal Gear version. This was sent to me by Brad at Armoured Heaven. If you want to support them, I'll leave a link to this down below. A few weeks ago I took a look at the Nwell MP5K, which is a smaller version of the MP5, which was a gas blowback blaster. This one here is electric, and I must say I greatly prefer this over the gas blowback. This actually has a mag capacity higher than 20 shots, so it's a lot more practical to use in actual games, and I'll show you some gameplay later. In addition to that gameplay, which will be at the end of the video, first I'll go over the blaster itself. I'll go over some accessories that Armoured Heaven sent with the blaster that are not included, but they do sell them on their site. I'll then take the blaster out to a field and chrono it and check the accuracy. So as you would have seen in my little intro that I filmed, it does come in an awesome Heckler & Koch licensed bag. Right now I've got some of the accessories in there, but there's straps to hold the blaster in, there's pouches to put stuff in. It's just overall an awesome little accessory to include with the blaster. The LDT MP5 is mostly nylon construction, but it does have some metal parts. The inner barrel is a 7.3mm alloy barrel, so it is metal, and you've also got an 18:1 gear set, which is metal inside. You get a metal sling point at the rear, as well as metal threaded outer barrel to put on any accessories. Everything else about this blaster, including the gearbox and the piston ladder, and all of the externals are all nylon. Starting at the front of the blaster, it's got a 14mm counterclockwise thread outer barrel, so as I remove this flash hider, you could then attach like a tracer unit, or what I'll do later in the video is add a Hellfire hop-up from MuzzleTech. Inside of there you've got an alloy inner barrel with an inner diameter of 7.3mm, so it should work perfectly with gels like Ultra Elites, which is what I'll be using for the accuracy testing and gameplay later in the video. It has a really nice handguard. After an entire day of using it, I must say it's very comfortable to hold. It has a spring-loaded charging handle, so you can lock that back and do the stereotypical MP5 slap. Unfortunately though, that has no purpose. It doesn't prime the mag, it's simply just for show, although you can never get enough of slapping an MP5. Now, this blaster either comes with a stick mag or a drum mag. This one came with the drum, obviously. But what I don't like about this drum is how small the ammo capacity is. It's not as bad as the gas blowback stick mag that has 20 shots in it, but compared to other drum mags of other blasters, this only holds 250 shots, which is about the same as an M4 mag. What I do like though, is that the reloading hatch is accessible while it's still in the blaster. So you can take your speed loader, pour it in there, and top it off in between respawns without even taking it out of the blaster. In fact, that's how I used this blaster the entire day. When I died, I just go top it off, and I never ran out of gels during a life. It has an ambidextrous fire select switch, so whether you're a lefty or whether you just change shoulders when you're cornering, it doesn't matter how you hold it, you can definitely access the full auto, semi, or safe modes. What I don't like about it though is how stiff it is. It's really hard to select the semi. You're either pushing it all the way to full or to safe. It's kind of hard to get it to stop halfway between the two. Up the back you get a standard MP5 stock. It's completely hollow inside with plenty of space for a massive battery or whatever else you want to put in there. To access it, you push down on the rubber padding and then pull it away. And as you can see, it has a massive stick battery in it. This is an 11.1 volt 1800 milliamp hour battery. It takes a mini Tamiya connector, but you could easily rewire it to Dean's and then use like a Titan battery with no issues of running out of space in the stock. Finally, up top you do get iron sights, and the rear sight actually has different sized holes, unlike the gas blowback one where the holes were all the same size for some reason. But now, let's take a look at some accessories. Armoured Heaven sent me samples of some of the accessories they sell for the MP5. I'll put links down below to everything. So first up, they sell a different handguard for the MP5. This has a built-in flashlight. Obviously the MP5 doesn't have Picatinny rail, so you do have to replace the entire handguard if you want to use a torch on it. This torch is actually pretty good though. At the front of the pressure pad on the side here, it's your constant on, and it has a second button at the rear if you want a strobe mode. I'll just show you quickly. That's the constant on, and then the rear of the pad is your strobe. To access the battery inside this torch, you just screw that open, and then you can get to the battery. To actually put this on is really easy. So there's a pin at the front of the MP5 here. You just push that out. This handguard comes off. And then there's like a little slot on either side, which you just need to line up. And now you can push the pin in. The second thing they sent me was a Picatinny rail that you can mount to the top of the MP5. How that works is there's 4 little hooks. You need to align it with where those hooks go, and then just fasten the 4 screws to tighten them. And there we go. Now to mount on here, they have actually sent me a replica EOTech sight. This is actually a pretty good replica of an EOTech. You've got 2 different colors of reticle between red or green. You can adjust the brightness, and you can also zero the sight. Personally though, I'm not a huge fan of replica sights, so I'm going to chuck my real steel red dot from HoloSun on there. People always ask what sights I'm using. Well, this is a HoloSun HS506 1x power red dot sight. It's a real steel optic. It's definitely not cheap. So for most people, I would recommend going with like a replica EOTech like this. But if you have a real steel sight, use that. And that pretty much covers everything about the blaster. So now let's head outside and chrono it. Alright, we're just going to chronograph the LDT MP5 on semi, then I'll switch it on full auto and get the rate of fire. 183, 195, 192, 126, 179, 184, 189, 200, 192, 201, 179, 184, 183, 196, 185, 180. Wow, so this is shooting a bit low. It got a low of 126 feet per second, high of 201, and an average of only 184. Now, I did do some research online, and I found out it's meant to shoot an average of around 250. So this one obviously has a bit of an air leak problem with it, but whether yours is shooting 250 like it's meant to, or shooting below 200 like mine is, no matter what it's shooting, I would still have a look at upgrading the O-ring on the piston. It's a source of air leak in this particular blaster, and while you're at it, you could even replace the entire piston, since it does have nylon teeth. Replacing it with metal would be better for the durability of the entire blaster. In addition to improving the air seal of the piston, you might want to increase the length of the barrel as well, and you can hide that inside of a suppressor that'll just screw onto the 14mm thread. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to modify this, I'm just going to use it as is. So now let's head back outside and check the rate of fire. .724 rounds per minute. So dividing that rounds per minute figure by 60 gives us 12 rounds per second. And that's really low considering the 11.1 volt battery and how big it is inside the stock. It must have like a really low end motor or something. So that could be worth upgrading, although I found that with only 250 round capacity in the drum mag and no additional mags, that 12 rounds per second was probably helping me to not run out of ammo during games. So now, keeping in mind that this is shooting below 200 feet per second, I went out and I did an accuracy test and I tried to shoot it at 30 meters, but only maybe 1 out of 10 shots were making the distance to 30 meters. Even with a MuzzleTech hop-up attached, this is their Hellfire, it screws onto a 14mm thread that we've got on here. So what I ended up doing is moving 5 meters closer than usual to 25 meters. I attached the Hellfire hop-up from MuzzleTech. Let's see how the accuracy went. Alright, so when we chronoed this, it only got about 180 to 200 FPS. And now when I just tried shooting it, it's only making about 25 meters. Even with a hop up attached and dialed all the way up, if I angle way into the sky, some of the shots will make 30 meters, but most of them drop short. So I'm just gonna do an accuracy test now with Ultra Elites at 25 meters. So for a stock blaster that all I've done is screw on a hop up, that's actually a pretty good grouping, especially considering it's shooting below 200 FPS. I'll just quickly shoot some full auto to show you that quick bursts like this mean you'll hit your target every single time at 25 meters. Overall, I've really enjoyed using this LDT MP5. Even though mine was underperforming, shooting about 50 to 60 FPS lower than what it's meant to, I had a lot of fun using it, and as you'll see in the gameplay in a minute, performance isn't everything. I used it against modified 300 FPS blasters, and to be honest, I did quite well with it. Thanks again Brad at Armoured Heaven for sending this my way. If you want to support them, I'll leave some buy links for this down below in the video description. As always, thanks for watching, subscribe for more content, and I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Got him. Hit! Got him. Sorry. Oh. Sorry, that was exchange. Beautiful, good shot, man. Oh, no scope. Coming in the right, they go. Hey! Oh, fuck. Oh, got him.
No, mate, your nose.
There's one.